Yet another edition of the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show. And do we got another treat for you? And again, before we introduce our special guest, special thank you goes out to Mr. Stephen Brady with Blue Shamrock record label. And he actually supplies our artists each and every week on our show. And we're so thankful for him doing that. And again, it's your friend Russell K. Make sure you check us out on the morning show 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. Myself and my partner in crime, Miss Shauna Brown, and we're gonna be playing, Amber, and she's our new artist here, and she has a new song called "Country Girl." So we're gonna play that song, open up the morning show. So we're gonna throw a little surprise out there for her, and we're gonna open up our morning show with her latest song, and we're gonna dedicate that show to her as well. So now let's go live and meet our special guest. Everyone, put your hands in the air for Miss Amber.
Hey
How you
Russell.
doing, Miss Amber? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling fresh this morning.
So, how's the weather up there in Australia?
Yeah, look, it's not very sunny today here in sunny Queensland. It's pretty overcast and it's looking a bit miserable and cold out there.
Oh no. Well,
Yeah.
up here, I'm actually coming from our New York studios, and it's actually nice up here. I mean,
True.
I just got back from our Carolina studios, and I just got back into New York late last night, and I'm surprised that the weather up here is nice. It's almost like 70 degrees and sunny out. I actually thought I was driving to the wrong location.
Not miserable, hey?
Oh yeah, but nevertheless, though, welcome to our show, and we're
Yeah,
so
thank you.
excited to have you. And so let's kick off our show here. And can you kind of tell our listeners are watching now that we'll be watching a little bit later on? Can you tell them about how you got started in the music industry?
Yeah, so from a really early age, I was about maybe 5. I was just singing in the churches with my grandparents. My dad was actually in a country band, a little country band in our little community out here, and he would go and sing at the retirement homes, for the elderly people who were sick and that. And I'd get up and sing a few songs with him. And then when I wasn't doing that, I'd be entertaining the old people on the wheelchairs, doing little skids up and down the halls, and then it just branched out to different community things. And eventually, I went on to competing in the country music circuit here in Australia, just in Queensland, and started winning a few awards here and there, and just fell in love with performing, I suppose, and then decided when I was around 14 to start doing paid gigs. So I think I've been doing it for about 17 years now, and I don't think it'll ever not be a part of my life.
That's awesome. So, at what point in your career did you think, hey, I might have something here, and I might be able to turn this into a full time gig?
Yeah, look, I think sometimes I don't think about it like that. I think I just do it because it's just something that I super love to do, and it's my way of expressing myself as a person. I don't always think of it as a job, I suppose, because I have a week job as well, and I have kids, so it's not like I'm on the road touring and doing shows and stuff like the big artists. But yeah, certainly I think maybe five to 10 years ago, like in the last 10 years, I've sort of looked at it and gone, well, this is what I'm passionate about. And, I think I want to keep writing music and releasing music and selling that sort of stuff, and seeing where this takes me.
So when people listen to your music, first of all, a two-part question here. When they listen to your music, how do you come about with your songwriting? What does that look like? Number one, and number two, what is the message that you're trying to send to people who are listening now, who may be listening in the future?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question.
Mhm.
I think I write really like I'm a really raw writer, and I write about things that I know about and that I've experienced. So, being a farmer's wife and living on the land, going through drought and fires and floods, and losing such a big part of your income in your life, during those things, and then becoming a mother and losing my dad. I really draw on all those things and write about those, and I guess that's where people can relate who have dealt with those sorts of things and feel those sort of emotions. Um, so that's sort of where my songwriting comes from, is true stuff that's happened to me that I've experienced. And what was the second part of your question? What would people take from that?
Yes, yeah. So when they're listening to your music,
Yeah.
what's the message that you're sending out?
Yeah, look, I think hope is probably one of the biggest things I like to put in my music. Is we all go through really challenging things in life. Doesn't matter who you are and what age you are. We all go through challenging things, but we can come out the other side. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think I like to portray that in my songs. That even though we've been through a lot, and you've been through something, we've come out the other side, or stronger than what you were before, or things like that. So just, I think, message of hope that there's more to life. Yeah.
Let's talk about your latest song, "Country Girl." How that
Yeah.
song come about?
um I think for me, like being a woman and working on the land, and in the agricultural industry here in Australia, it can be such a brutal thing, like especially with working alongside men and all of that. I think we, as women, we are just as capable, I suppose, to do those things. We have women out here driving trucks and machinery, and I jump in a tractor and I go and work ground, and I drive the truck when we're carting hay in. So we're not just in the kitchen baking scones and cakes and looking after the children. Now we're out working on the land, and we like to get our hands a bit dirty, get a bit rough, and yeah, go out. But then at the end of the week, I think as women, we like to also come back together and celebrate that, celebrate our friendships and celebrate the hard work that we do for our country. Um, and that is with a cold drink and listening to country music and laughing with your mates. So I think, yeah, that's probably where Country Girls really came from, was just working hard and playing harder.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to check out that song. Excuse me, and what a great song that was. I mean, what an
Thank
amazing
you.
song, and I
Thank you.
love, I just love everything about it. Now, speaking about your music, how can our listeners are watching now, or who will be watching later? How can they get in contact with you, and how can they download that amazing song?
Yeah, look, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, that sort of stuff, but my music's on like Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all that sort of stuff. So most online platforms, they can find me on there. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any like new projects you're working on right now? Where are you right now in your musical career?
Yeah, I'm halfway through trying to release my second album. So it's just been a roadblock after roadblock, having children and going back to work. And then the people that I'm working with on this album, they're highly regarded musicians in the Australian country music industry. So they're busy themselves. So to try and get everybody together and to tee up times when we're not sick
Mhm.
can be quite difficult. So the next thing I'm on, my album's nearly done, but I just need to go back and finalize the vocals and some harmonies and stuff like that. So probably within the next 4 weeks, I'd say I'll be back in the studio working on the next single, and then after that, yeah, the album will be released. I hope, fingers crossed, later in the year.
Do you have any upcoming gigs you can talk to us about?
Nothing huge. I don't have anything big, but I am heading out to Boondooma Country Music in the end of it's in April, and it's a real traditional country music festival that's held out here. So probably not my usual genre of music that I would sing at every gig, but I do love an old traditional country song. So I'll be heading out there alongside some of our good Australian artists as well, Bush Balladeers, yeah. But I have actually got just a small community gig coming up in a couple of weeks we've got a new mental health service out here, and I'm really passionate about mental health. And it's just celebrating Harmony Day, so about inclusion and all that sort of stuff. So I'm a bit excited about that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Who are
thank
some of
you.
your favorite country artists you look up to?
Probably, are we talking Australian or American? Because I have a few.
Let's do a mixed bag here on the Russell
Yeah,
K show.
I like that. Look, I loved listening to like all the old country. I was raised on like Charlie Pride and Randy Travis and George Jones and George Strait. But Dolly Parton is a massive inspiration for me growing up. I love not only her music and her stories, but I love, her background, like where she grew up, how she come into music and all of that sort of stuff. So I love her story. But yeah, definitely a lot of the older country artists. And then as far as Australian goes, I love our homegrown Troy Cassadaly. He's such a humble man, and he's so good at writing. So him and Sarah Storer would be my two Australian favorite country music singers.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten in the music industry?
Um, an old neighbor who used to live down the road from us, he wrote on a piece of paper once, "Reach for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground." And I really, really, really like that, because I think it's so easy to get lost in all of the crazy stuff and to lose yourself, I suppose, in that. And it is a hard industry to break into. So people go to big lengths. But yeah, I just thought that was really, basically reach for your goals, but be true to yourself. And I like that. Don't be molded by someone else and what they want you to be. Be yourself. So I really like that.
How did you get your break in the music industry?
For I think just competing at bigger talent shows, not just the small ones. I think that, and I think maybe just releasing music as well, and then being able to go and perform alongside some of the bigger country music artists at the bigger festivals. So I've done a few of those things, and I think, yeah, sort of getting my name out there has certainly helped me by being alongside some of the bigger names.
If you had an opportunity to open up for one artist, who would it be and why?
So if I had the opportunity to do what with one artist?
If you had an opportunity to open up a show for one
Ah,
artist, who would that lucky person be? Yeah.
oh, I don't know. I have opened for Troy Cassadaly before, and that
Oh,
was
there you
that was
go.
that was really cool. But look, I'm gonna have to say Dolly Parton. I don't know. I'd love to just sit down and be able to sing a song with her. But yeah, I'd love to open for her show. That would be amazing.
What is one interesting thing about you that you could share with our listeners that they may have never known if they would have met you?
Mm. I'm a volunteer firefighter.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you for your
yeah,
service.
yeah. No, you're welcome. Thank you for acknowledging me.
Well, hey, we got to keep the show going, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So, I mean, so we found so much about you in a short time. You're a firefighter, you're a farmer, you're married, you got some amazing kids. So, if you have any spare time, what do you do in your spare time outside of music?
Uh, Clean and cook.
Safe answer there. That's a safe answer.
No, look, I like to just go on spontaneous little drives in the car. I like to just pick a place and just pack a picnic and pack the kids and just go. We've got a beautiful spot not far from us. called the Bunya Mountains, and it's up in this mountain, and it's like a rainforesty kind of vibe, and it's just there's parrots and there's kangaroos, and it's just beautiful. It's really nice to just relax. It's a very spiritual place too, so it's good to get grounded and just breathe in the fresh air. Yeah.
That's awesome. I keep on telling myself, I mean, because each and every week we introduce, interview some of the most amazing Australian artists, right? And I keep
Yeah.
on telling them each and every week, right? I got to talk to Mr. Stephen Brady and see if I can get him to put me on this budget, so we can take the show on the road. And
Yeah.
one of the ideas that that we seriously want to talk about is getting all the artists that we've interviewed, right? Bring them all on one stage, and we can be there live, streaming live, and kind of like have kind of like a reunion. I just
Yeah.
think that would be like a really cool idea. So speaking of Mr. Stephen Brady, how did you get associated with Blue Shamrock record label?
Yeah, so basically social media. A lot of my friends who are in the industry and release music, I've seen him promoting them in the past, and I've seen that he had a good reputation, good name. He's all over the place. Like you see his logo pop up everywhere, and I thought, why not? We'll give him a bell, and we did, and he's just been absolutely so pleasant to deal with. Very, very lovely. Very, very pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted me to tell you that the check's in the mail.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So, now that we're talking about your musical career and kind of like your personal life as well, I mean,
Yeah.
let's get back to the musical scene for you. Are there any highlights that really mean a lot to you that you can maybe look back at now and say, "Wow, I can't believe I did that." Do you have any highlights you want to share with us as it relates to your musical journey?
Um, I think for me and my background, just given that I've got up and given certain talent quests a go, in like I've suffered with mental health problems in the past, and even to today, and anxiety has played a big role in my musical career of not pushing myself probably as far as I could have gone. And so to have entered into some talent searches that I have down at Tamworth Country Music Festival, and and things like that, to be able to actually go in it and know what frame of mind I was in, and the fact that I lacked so much confidence, but then I come out the other side with a second and a third, and a first, is just like mind blowing to me. Like, I doubted myself so much, and I thought, right, just throw yourself into it and give it a go. And then I did. And then I came out the other side, with an award. And then that's something now I've got to my name. So, I mean, they're not the biggest awards, but to me, it was so much more than just a trophy and an award sort of thing, I suppose. So that's probably one of the bigger things. I know just a highlight in my career also is, playing alongside some of the bigger country music artists, and sharing the stage with them, and just feeling like, maybe I am worthy of being up here alongside these people, and and having some of the big artists that back those people as musicians back me and play my music and harmonize with me, and I'm the center of the stage, like, as a little girl, and as someone who struggled with that mindset, I never thought that would be me. But then I look back on that, and those specific performances, like, and just one from memory at the moment is singing at the Mergen Country Music muster a couple of years ago, and just doing like a bit of an acoustic set with Brendan Radford and Vaughan Jones on piano, and we sang Seven Spanish Angels,
Oh,
and
wow.
the whole theater was just, you could have heard a pin drop, and I looked down into the crowd, and I could see people crying. And I think for me, It's like not that I set out that day and going, right, I'm going to make people cry, but to know that I touched people, and I gave myself goosebumps because it was such a moment, and it's the sound was just perfect, the harmonies were just perfect. And then I'm like pinching myself going, is this real? Like, is this me? Is this me on this stage doing this, you know? So I think, yeah, that's probably a super duper highlight for me.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So
No,
let's talk
yeah.
about, you're getting ready to go on stage. You're getting ready to, go on stage in front of a huge crowd. Do you have any like pre-event rituals that you do to kind of get yourself ready for the big show?
A lot of deep breathing.
Mhm.
No, I have to remind myself sometimes to breathe. Just breathe and just kind of slow down that mind chatter, and just kind of get in the zone where I'm like, I'm here to perform, you know, I'm not here to just get up and sing a song. I'm here to perform. So I need to connect with the audience. Um, yeah, I need to just to do my best on stage, you know, and all the things that you got to remember. And I suppose too, like thinking about what songs I might like to sing, what stories I might like to share. So those things are running through my head, and certainly something I take into consideration while I'm just trying to calm my nerves and just remember to breathe.
How do you read a crowd?
Oh, I don't know. I'm such an observant person, and I think I cannot explain it to you. It's just a feeling I get. It's just you just got to feel it. I don't know whether it's like the energy in the room. You read it, you feel it, and then you just roll with it, and it kind of just works. I don't know. Maybe it's a musician thing. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's an artist thing. I really don't know. But just feeling the energies, watching people's body language. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience at this point? This is your chance to take the show over. And is there anything you want to say to them at this point?
I don't think so. I'm just such a laid back, chilled person. I like to just, you know, take life as it comes day by day, you know, and I love meeting new people and having people, you know, message me for a yarn. So if anyone ever needs someone to talk to, just hit my inbox up and yeah, no, I love people. I love sharing stories and I love hearing stories.
Can you be so kind and can you please share your social media? How our listeners are watching now, who maybe will be watching later. Can you share how they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so on Facebook, I have a music page, so just Amber Goldsmith Music. And yeah, so basically, that's got all my music stuff. It's got my website on there. It's got my inbox on there. It's got my email. It's got all that stuff. It's got links to all the platforms where you can find my music. But yeah, that's certainly the page where you can, if you need to talk to me, get in contact with me, interact with me, that's where it all happens.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's talk about the artist who's up and coming and maybe wants to get to where you are today. What advice would you share with them to try to follow the journey you're experiencing right now?
Yeah, look, I think if it's certainly something that you're passionate about, you've got to get in and do it, but you've got to keep the momentum going. And I think as an artist, that's probably where I've struggled, and where I look at when I compare myself with other artists, that's where I've lacked. You know, I've stopped to have children and I've stopped to help out on the farm. So I've walked away from my career a few times, and I think that's probably contributed to me not being where I could be. So I think if it is something that someone wants to do, I think you've really got to ask yourself, you know, first, is this what I want to do? And if it is, you've just got to throw yourself completely in there, and you know, and it's okay to fall off the bandwagon and to take a step back, but you know, you've still got to keep momentum going. You've got to just be interacting with fans. You've got to be releasing stuff. You've just got to, yeah, it is such a hard industry to break into. And you know, you can release a song and you can be somebody, but then if you don't follow up with stuff to keep going, you just become a nobody again. Like it's one of those industries you've really got to back yourself, because unless you're going to pay millions of dollars to the right people to put you out there, which a lot of us artists don't have a lot of money, let's be honest. I think you've really just got to have the confidence, and the mental power to back yourself, and just keep going, keep trying.
You brought up a very interesting point. That's going to be my next question.
Mm,
What can the music industry do to help artists just like yourself? I mean, you're one of thousands of artists in the same situation, and this is
yeah.
just your opinion. What can the music industry do to help you to make more money? I mean, obviously, you use this money, to take care of your family, put food on the table, so on and so forth. What can they do? What should they do?
Um, Look, I think there's no easy, quick answer, but I think the royalties thing is a massive issue, and I know that that's been such a hot topic on social media. The royalties that we get. I remember reading the other day John Schumann, who actually there's another highlight of my career. I got to tour John Schumann, but he had posted on there that he had released music, and it cost him $20,000 to release this album, to release this music. And like he said, I will never ever make that back in my lifetime on that one album. And it's the same with me. This next album that I'm going to release has cost me over $10,000. In
Mm.
5 to 7 years, I've made $37.60 in royalties from people streaming my music. Because we get a 0.003 cents per stream. um, I think something needs to change. I don't make my money releasing music, but that's what costs me the most money. I make my money doing gigs, traveling around and getting paid to perform. Um, but if you want to release music, you just don't make it back, I don't think. And I think we can say, please stream my music, please play my music as much as you can, but people could play it 1,000 times and it's really not going to touch the surface, to be honest, which is really sad. I think you've just got to look at it differently and go, well, I'm not releasing this music for the money. I'm releasing it because I love doing what I'm doing. I love writing stories and I love sharing stories. And you just got to hope that people love those stories and want to listen to them. But I don't look at it as, listen, download my music to make me money and to make me royalties. I want you to download my music because it resonates with you, or you relate with it. I don't know, Russell. There's no quick fix, is there? It's a bit sad, really.
That's some great feedback, though. I mean, I love just sitting back and listening to what you're saying. I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, you should be paid fairly for your music. I mean, you're the one that's creating it. It's your idea. It's your music. It's you all. It's you.
Yeah.
And why would you not be fairly compensated for that? Yeah, I could not agree with you more on that. So thank you for sharing that with us.
No, you're
As
welcome.
we
Thank
wind down our show here again, people watching now that will be watching, it's your friend Russell K. We are live with the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, and we got Miss Amber is with us here, and she got a great song called "Country Girls," and we're gonna play that song tomorrow morning on the Russell K. And Alexa and Shauna Brown Morning Show from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you tune in and you can check out that new song from Miss Amber. Any final, as we wind down our interview this evening, any final thoughts you'd like to share with us?
No, I don't think so. I just, want to extend thanks to you, Russell, and to Stephen, and that, I think, for doing this for us artists. Like, without you guys, putting us out there on the stage in the limelight, we would struggle to get our names out there. So I'm just super super grateful to you guys for giving us that platform and this space, I guess, to talk about not only our music but us as people, so people can get to know us, and may want to listen to our music and our stories and follow our journey. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And that's what our show is all about. I mean, you hit the nail on top of the head. It's about supporting upcoming aspiring artists. And and we use this show to help get the exposure for the artist who is so well deserving of that exposure. And so it's an honor to do the show each and every week. And again, I'm on board with you. Special thank you to Stephen and Blue Shamrock record labels for working with us as a partner to have this show each every week. So on behalf
Yeah.
of everyone here, I definitely hope you feel better. Thank you,
Thank
taking time out here to do this interview. You take care of yourself. Blessings to you and your family, and as you continue in your musical journey, we wish you nothing but the best. And hey, we're gonna have you back. All right, so we're gonna have you back for part two. And but if there's everything you ever need, we're only a phone call away.
Thank you, Russell. I really appreciate it. And thank you to your listeners too.
Yes, ma'am. You take care. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll connect with you soon.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, that was Miss Amber live on the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, and special thank you to her. She wasn't really feeling that well, but she was able to do the interview with us this evening. So special thank you for her for doing that. And again, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, special thank you to Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock record label who supply our artists each every week. If you're watching now, if you're watching later, do me a favor. Please tell your friends and family about our show and about the artists that we're interviewing. Let other people know about these artists, and and go to their websites, check out their music, like their pages, and help them to spread the good word of their music. That'd be so awesome if you can help us do that. Until the next show, every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, you can find us here on the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show. Until next week, thank you so much for watching. You take care and have a wonderful evening.